Before the world had a name, before time was measured in days, there was a kingdom beyond the stars, a realm untouched by mortality, where celestial beings ruled in balance, and power was not questioned. It was understood. Two brothers stood at the center of it all. One, chosen to protect the order of existence. The other, destined to challenge it. Bound by blood, divided by vision, and neither of them knew what already began changing. Before everything broke the realm, there was a split in beliefs, both of the same world yet. One saw a system holding together, fragile, imperfect, still worth protecting. The other saw a cycle looping endlessly, conflict, collapse, recovery, then back again, power in both of their hands. One carried it with patience. The other saw urgency. Time itself moved around them, and the distance between them grew without movement. This split in views led to two different futures. Equinox looked for something more. Ophiuchus stayed where he stood. That was the beginning. Equinox was tortured with questions his brother and his secrets refused to respond to, so he left the kingdom's safe walls to quench his curiosities. Then, something ancient answered back. He thought it was power, enough to finally be heard by his brother. But what he felt was a presence, one that did not call to the kingdom he served. It called to him alone. The obsidian orb reached for him the moment his guard fell. A pressure gathered in his chest, deep, sudden, as if something ancient had chosen that space and refused to leave it empty. Breath tightened, muscle locked. His frame drew rigid under a force that carried its own intention. You can see it in him. The strain pulling through his shoulders, the fracture forming across his face. The instant his control loosens its grip and something heavier settles in, it moves through him in layers. Through instinct, through thought, through every boundary he trusted to hold. The darkness coils with purpose. From the dark shadows of the seasons, Equinox summoned his corrupted generals. Tremor, the ruin of autumn. Pyrrha, the burning wrath of summer. Volturine, the storm of spring. Umbra, the frozen shadow of winter. And before the watching army, beneath the witness of the stars, darkness took its throne. Under shattered skies, Volturine came at the head of the darkened legion. Storm and lightning wrapped around him like a crown of ruin, driving the shadow army forward beneath the witness of the stars. Standing against him were Leo, Gemini, and Virgo, guardians of celestial fire, golden and unyielding, holding the line as darkness closed in. The battlefield burned. The storm answered. And in that terrible moment, war was no longer coming. It had arrived. Within the constellation cell, two brothers stood before one another, one bound to darkness, the other bound to duty. Ophiuchus entered the prison with unshaken resolve. Equinox remained before him, scarred by the black void in his chest and burning with fractured power. Between them, the stars became a cage. And in that sacred silence, brotherhood gave way to judgment, as one chose to stand eternal watch, and the other swore to wait for the day the heavens cracked.
There is a way to protect the future. The Soul Legacy Ritual. Your power will pass beyond this age, carried through blood and time.
Now that the Soul Legacy Ritual was complete, and the transference of souls had passed into the future, the Celestial Kingdom stood in sacred silence. Seraphina carried the weight of that inheritance alone. With firm resolve settling in her spirit, she stepped forward and walked across the bridge of light toward the council, already knowing the crown would not be bestowed to her for the moment.
I cannot accept the crown. My duty is to the stars, not the throne.
The council will not understand, Lady Seraphina.